welcome back to my channel. If you are new, don't forget to subscribe right now, and if you're watching this video, you got to give me a like because we made it to 2021. Comment below some balloons, some party emojis, whatever that you feel like because we made it, y'all. We made it out of 2020, and I wrote down some things that I learned in the year 2020. I think we all I've learned some things from 2020. I'm not going to say that this wasn't my worst year. It definitely was not my worst year, but it was one that I learned a lot of valuable lessons from. So let's get into it. So the first thing that I learned in 2020 was how to pivot. I feel like that was a key word in 2020. Pivot meaning, and I have my notes right here, so if I'm looking down, that's what I'm looking at. Pivot meaning to adapt, to adjust, and to get creative basically with whatever you need to, because things may not have gone the way you wanted it to go. So many things made me have to pivot this year. First thing being having to adjust to working at home, which wasn't a big adjustment, but having my kids home with me was. So having to adjust and really figure out a schedule that I could work my 9 to 5 and be at home with the kids and not lose my sanity really made me have to adjust, to pivot and figure out some things. Also, another thing that made me have to pivot this year, or last year, was I found out I was pregnant. So if you guys have been watching my channel for a while, you know that I am a mom to a beautiful daughter who's 5 years old, and also a handsome son that is 3 years old. So when I got the news that I was pregnant with my third, I was not expecting it, and really honestly, I was not exactly through at the beginning of it. It wasn't news that I exactly wanted to hear, because I was actually through. I was like, I have my beautiful baby, I'm good, you know. Now we can kind of, my daughters would be transitioning into kindergarten, so I'm not spending out so much money for daycare, and they're growing, and it was just, it's becoming fun for me. We can talk more, you know, they're not like little babies, they can help. So I was like thrilled. I found out I was having another baby. I was like, oh my gosh. But then again, that was something I had to adjust, because I was like, it wasn't my plan, but it was God's plan. And if you guys heard that saying before that says God laughs at our plan, I never really understood what that means. But this year I really felt like God was really laughing at my plans. It really encouraged me to really adapt. Me, the type of person I am, I like things to go a certain way. I like to plan it out a certain way, and I like things to happen a certain way. And so these different things that happened this year truly made me have to consider my plans. And going along with adjusting, I had to get creative, because there were so many things that were going on at home while I was working from home. I had to get creative with my kids to keep them busy, make sure they had things to do, making sure that I was getting my work done and taking care of all the responsibilities that a lot of us have as wives and as mothers. So I had to really get creative, and this year really showed me to not plan, like not get so committed to my plans that I cannot adjust to the things that are happening around me. Number 2, I wrote down the value of friendships and relationships. I'm sure a lot of you guys can relate to this, because since we were home, we were quarantined from our loved ones, and so we weren't able to be around a lot of our friends and families for that matter as well, just to keep them safe. I really learned the value of relationships. Even first of all, the relationships you have with the people in your home. You know, I'm seeing my husband a lot more because he's home. Well, my husband wasn't actually home, as he still was working, but there was a time that he had to be home with me and the kids, and all of us being in one space for a long period of time really helped me to learn the value of the time that we spent together, and valuing that, because we don't know how long the quarantine was going to last and when things are going to go back to normal. So just really valuing the time that we had, because I know we spent way more time with each other than we ever had before. I actually enjoyed it, because I know I didn't get a chance to spend, you know, as much daytime quality time and educational time with my kids as I was able to during this pandemic. So I was thankful for that. The value of friendships, because since we're secluded from a lot of our friends and even co-workers, a lot of those one-on-one and social relationships and gatherings that we were used to on a daily, weekly, or regular basis was not happening. So we had to find ways to really engage with them again, such as via Zoom, phone calls. I'm sure people were on the phone a lot more than they probably have in past years, because that was the only way that we could really socialize and be quarantined during that time. So I really learned the value of that. Another reason why that the value of relationships and friendships became so important to me during 2020 was because me and my family, we were selling our home and getting a bigger home because the baby was coming. And during the process of all that, we were able to sell our home. But if you guys saw my last few videos, we were not able to settle on our home yet because of paperwork, I guess delays because of the holidays and COVID. So we had to really adjust, find a place to live, find a place to stay, and find a place for our kids to be. And that's when those friendships, relationships, and all of that came into play, because if you don't have friends, if you don't have relatives or people that you're close to, it's really hard to, go through these hard and trying times without people you can talk to, without people that are able really to lend you a helping hand. And those things became so important and essential during this time when we didn't have a place to stay. Really, we were going from hotel to hotel. We even slept on a friend's couch, just to be close to our kids, and just everything. So much has been going on, at least in these last few weeks, for my family. And the value of friendships and relationships is so important. And I know some people might say, well, it's always been important. For me, I was raised an only child, so I am used to being by myself. I can be in my own little cocoon, be to myself. I have no problems with it. Like, I'm content. But this year really taught me family is important. Friendships are important. Like, these things are important. And like, when you're able to help somebody else, somebody's able to help you as well, like, it's so important. So I don't want to like beat a dead horse, but like, the value of friendships, guys, so important. I also wrote down to make do with what you have. Because of the pandemic and because of everything that was going on in 2020, a lot of people were afraid to go out. A lot of things weren't even available, such as tissue. We were running out of tissue earlier this year, and so many things weren't available. There was a shortage on a lot of things as well. So I had to learn how to make do with what I had, and not take those extra trips that I may have before all this stuff was going on to go get like small things from the store. Just keep the essentials and really find ways to, find meals that I can make with the food that I already had in the house. I didn't have to go out, make do with the clothes that I had, make do with different things that the kids have, and not going in and out the house and leaving and coming back, just making do, and learning that some of the things that I already had was good enough. Number 4, trusting in God. Now, this is not something new to me, because if you've been following my channel, you know that I'm a Christian. But trusting God this year became very much important, especially the latter part of 2020, because of so many things that was going on. I had to trust God, that He knew best as far as me being pregnant with my 3rd baby during a pandemic and so much stuff going on. Me being over 35 and more at risk than I was in my previous pregnancy. I had to trust God when it came to us not being able to settle on our home and kind of being displaced from our home and from family and stuff like that. I had to trust God that He knew best, and His timing I had to trust. because even right now, I'm not recording from my home, I'm recording from my parents' home. So I really had to trust God. I'm still trusting God. I'm believing that He's going to move at the right time. I had to trust His timing. So trusting God this year, I think, was so important for so many people, because, you know, I'm sure a lot of people's faith was tried this year, because people have lost loved ones, people were sick themselves, people have lost their jobs. So many things happened this year for so many people, and if you didn't have the faith, you didn't have hope and belief, I'm sure it was hard, you know. And even having trust and having faith, it was times that it was hard for us all, because there were so many things you're seeing. We had so many civil rights movements this year. We had George Floyd, and we had Breonna Taylor. We had so many things, and if you're watching this video, we survived it all, and I attribute a lot of that to my trust in God, that He was going to bring us out. He was going to help us to overcome, and that's one of the ways that I have been able to stand here today, or sit here today, and make this video for you guys, trusting in God. I wrote down seeking God for direction, because I was seeking God for direction in terms of selling my home, picking and finding a new home for us to reside in. My family had to seek God in response to what we should do during this pandemic, the moves we should make, where we should go, what we should be doing, like all of that. It was so important for us to seek God for direction and not just move according to how we're used to moving, how we wanted to move, whatever we wanted, you know, whatever we wanted to do during this time. I think it was so important for us to seek God, to make sure we were making the right decisions, to make sure that we were going to the right places, and all of that. It became so much more important this year, I feel like, than any other year before. And the last thing that I learned this year was to never give up. And I know we say that so many times, but this year was so easy to give up. It was so easy to throw in the towel, right? So many people probably did throw in the towel. So many people did lose a lot of hope. But this year really taught me to never give up. I know it was so easy for us, especially this year, to give up, to throw in the towel, but this year really taught me to keep believing, to keep hoping, to keep striving, to even keep, like, you know, my same routine. That's something that I've still been working on, to, you know, keep my same routine, to keep believing that good things are going to happen. And to end this video, I did have so many blessings this year. So many great things happened to me in 2020 that I'm looking forward to 2021, because I'm always looking forward to the next season of my life. But so many things happened for me this year that were really great, that I really can't complain about. Like, I really can't call 2020 a bad year, because earlier this year I was able to get a new job. So I was trusting God that He was going to move me from the old job. It was causing me a lot of bitterness. I was really becoming tired of my job, my place of employment, and I loved it up until maybe the beginning of this year. But like, some things started happening and I was ready to go, and God delivered me, and I was able to get a new job, making more money, and it was so funny. Quick testimony. I still wanted to work in my same location. I wanted to work in the same location, but I didn't want to work for the people that I worked for. So, and I still wanted to do what I was doing, but I just didn't want to do it for the people I was doing it for. Funny enough, one of my co-workers that, not in my group, he was getting another job, and he referred me to this company that he was moving with. And I was actually supposed to be working within his group, but some kind of way, I guess, he transitioned me somewhere else, and I ended up still working in the same type of office that I worked for previously, just different people that I was supporting, and being able to learn new things as well. And it was just awesome. So I really thank God for being able to get a new job this year. We even traveled more this year than we have as a family, and it was a great year. Found out I was pregnant, so I knew that if I did have another child, I wanted to record the journey, and I kind of regretted the fact that I wasn't able to do it, or I didn't do it on my last pregnancy. So I was excited for the fact that there'd be a new baby coming. I'd be able to record the journey, and the kids were so excited and are still excited about the baby coming. I also had said when I moved into my last house that I wanted to move within 5 years, because I knew that that wasn't like my forever home or anything like that. I knew it was like a stepping stone, you know, our first home. And it's been 5 years since we moved in our last home, so we did move out 5 years later. So many blessings that have come in the year 2020 that I cannot complain, and it taught me so many life lessons that is going to be so valuable, that are valuable to me going forward into the year 2021. And being pregnant also has really taught me to find more of my voice. I've never really been like shy, but I've kind of stuck to being behind the scenes, not saying too much all the time. And I think this year has really helped me to find my voice a lot more and not be really scared or hesitant to speak up when I need to. So this year has really been a great year for me, and I'm looking forward to 2021. If 2020 wasn't good for you, I hope it at least taught you some life lessons that you can take with you to 2021. Looking forward to so many great things for 2021, and I'm just trusting God that He's going to work everything out. So thank you guys again for watching this video, first video of the new year. If you watched this far, please don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment below. Comment below some things that you learned in 2020. I'm sure we all have learned some things. We each have learned some things. We've gone through some things. And yeah, just comment below some of the things that you learned, some things that you will not miss about 2020, or some things that you will miss about 2020 and that you're looking forward to in 2021. So guys, thank you again for watching, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Bye.